All right, buckle up, because today on the Deep Dive, we're tackling a concept that's tossed around in, well, pretty much every workplace, boardroom, and LinkedIn post imaginable. Employee engagement.
Yeah, it's everywhere, isn't it?
Totally. It sounds straightforward, right? But what if everything we think we know about it is, well, fundamentally misguided? We're diving into this fascinating question today by unpacking a truly insightful article by Sylvia Ola, boldly titled, "We Don't Have a Clue About Engagement."
Hey, doesn't mince words, does she?
Not at all. Our mission today is really to peel back the layers of this widely discussed, yet maybe profoundly misunderstood, idea. We want to challenge some common assumptions about how we measure people at work. Ola kicks off her article with 4 really crucial questions, and I want to invite you, our listener, to think along with us as we go through them. She asks, engage to what exactly?
Good question.
Yeah. Is it loyalty to the corporate brand? Or is it a deep investment in your immediate team? Or maybe just the satisfaction you get from the tasks themselves? Or is it about the grand future you're all working toward?
Lots of possibilities there.
Right. And then, what does engagement even mean in this context? Are we talking about a deep emotional investment in the company, or just being, profoundly absorbed in the work itself?
Hmm.
And what if you don't fit that traditional engaged mold? What if you consistently show up, you do excellent work, and you stay focused because you're committed to building your own future, or simply doing a good job? Is that not enough?
That's a really important point, the quiet contributors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And finally, Ola asks, which kind of engagement is actually required? Can any of these lead to exceptional performance?
These are definitely not just semantic quibbles, are they? They cut right to the core of how we understand human motivation and contribution in the workplace.
Mhm.
What's fascinating here is that the article immediately challenges conventional wisdom. It suggests that many common metrics used to gauge engagement might not actually capture the true essence of belonging or emotional attachment or, genuine commitment.
Yeah, it really makes you pause and consider what we've actually been optimizing for all this time. And it's precisely there that Ola truly shakes things up. She makes a pretty provocative statement right out of the gate. She says, and I'll quote her directly here, "Whoever tells you they know how to increase engagement is probably lying."
Wow. Okay, so what's behind that? Well, her point is that these self-proclaimed gurus aren't actually fostering genuine engagement. What they do know, or what she suggests they know, is how to manipulate the indicators that organizations have, frankly, kind of made up to measure engagement.
So gaming the system, essentially.
Exactly. The core problem, as Ola points out, is that these metrics often fail to capture the true emotional attachment that people might have, whether that's to the company, their specific role, their colleagues, the future vision, or even just their own personal underlying reasons for coming to work every day.
So there's a fundamental disconnect between what's measured and what's actually real.
Precisely.
So if those manufactured metrics aren't cutting it, what does true engagement look like? Ola illustrates this beautifully through her own personal journey, spending over 16 years with the same company. She notes her love for the company gradually grew,
Yeah.
and certainly didn't spring from, formal induction programs or anything like that.
Right, it was organic.
Yeah. She identifies several deeply personal, often unmeasurable signs of her own engagement. She calls them the things that added to it and the things I found myself saying or doing that allowed me to notice, yes, I am bloody engaged in here. Let's walk through some of those powerful moments.
Okay, great. It's a wonderful series of anecdotes, really revealing just how nuanced and personal true engagement truly is.
Okay, first up, Ola found her deepest connection, her emotional glue, as she puts it, not in corporate mission statements, but in the authentic relationships with her colleagues.
The people.
Exactly. She explained that her profound love for most of the people she worked with actually pushed her to work harder. She found herself doing things completely outside her job description, things nobody even asked her to do, simply to make life easier for them. As she vividly puts it, I worked for them.
That point is so insightful because it highlights a crucial, often overlooked dimension of engagement, doesn't it? In an era where work is increasingly viewed as, well, a transaction.
Right, just for the money.
Yeah. Ola's experience shows how doing things for others, purely out of a sense of care and camaraderie, is a very subtle yet really powerful sign of deep engagement. It's about intrinsic motivation, that desire to contribute beyond your own individual tasks.
It makes perfect sense when you put it like that. Now, beyond this profound team connection, Ola also describes a powerful, almost visceral attachment to the company's own origins, its founding story, and its two founders.
Okay.
Now, this is fascinating because she admits she never managed to buy into any vision or mission statement, the corporate stuff.
Right, the usual rah-rah.
Yeah. Yet she felt this deep emotional connection to the story of the company. She even shares this great anecdote about meeting one of the founders, serving him water at a bar, and his insistence on paying, even giving her a 2-pound tip.
A small thing, but it stuck with her.
Exactly. It was a small gesture, but it clearly left a lasting impression.
And that impression deepened, didn't it? When she moved into learning and development, L&D,
Yes.
to conduct inductions for new hires, she had to really immerse herself in the company's history, learning everything about Accor from its humble beginnings with 2,000 properties to its growth to over 5,500 properties by the time she left. Telling that story over and over with, increasing passion created what she describes as that mental and emotional attachment.
Wow. She genuinely felt part of the construction team, stating, "We built this company and I was part of it."
Yeah. And she even told someone who wasn't representing the company well, something like, "Our founders didn't work so hard so you can destroy our reputation."
Whoa. That's a powerful statement of ownership, isn't it? Not just employment.
Absolutely. Real skin in the game.
Building on that fierce sense of ownership, she also described how she was incredibly protective of the company's reputation. She gave concrete examples, like if she saw a poorly written job advertisement that made the company look like idiots, she'd write directly to the HR director,
The HRD, yeah.
the human resources director, to ask them to correct it. Or, here's a good one, even after she no longer worked there, she noticed a health and safety and H&S concern in one of their hotel restrooms and raised it with the duty manager.
Even after leaving, that's dedication.
Right. She said she did it because she didn't want anyone to get hurt, and she certainly didn't want the company ending up in the newspaper. She even playfully questioned herself, why am I still doing this? I no longer work with them.
That continued concern for the company's image and well-being, even when she wasn't on the payroll anymore, is a textbook example of genuine engagement. It really transcends the job description. It's about a deep-seated care for the entity itself, for its integrity and safety. It demonstrates a level of ownership that goes far beyond simply, fulfilling one's duties. It's an instinctive act of protection.
Okay, now this next story is truly surprising and quite counterintuitive, I think. Ola talks about her experience through 3 acquisitions.
Right, mergers and acquisitions always shake things up.
Totally. And she openly admits to hating the teams that were bought, Fairmont, Movenpick, and Speed. She felt superior to them, saying who bought who, and despised every moment of the integration process. She saw them as outsiders, disrupting her well-functioning team and company.
Wow, okay. That sounds challenging. And she didn't mince words, apparently. She found herself saying things like, remember we bought you with a $376 million debt because you guys have no bloody clue how to manage the business, so I don't think you were in a position of telling us what to do.
Oof, harsh.
Yeah, or you guys couldn't manage 100 properties profitably. Let us show you how it's done.
So really territorial.
Extremely. But what's truly fascinating is her assertion that this arrogance, dominance, and territorial behavior was, in fact, a form of engagement, not, as you might expect, a fear of losing her job. As she pointed out, with 5,500 plus properties, there was always another job somewhere else in the company.
Right.
She highlights that this very animosity, the thing companies often desperately try to eliminate during mergers, can actually be a surprising sign of commitment and true loyalty to the original entity.
That's a really nuanced perspective on what commitment can look like. Sort of like fierce loyalty manifesting as, well, hostility to outsiders.
Exactly. It's complex.
Okay, 15 gears a bit. She talks about the Hardest Service Program, which was rolled out around 2017 or 2018.
Yes, the Service Culture Initiative.
Right. And Ola was initially skeptical, admitting she had to execute it with the greatest fake passion.
Yeah, we've all been there, maybe.
Possibly. But then something unexpected happened. The earthquake in Indonesia.
Yes, and this is where the program's true impact became evident, in a way no survey could have possibly predicted. While the company typically opened emergency funds, Ola started receiving emails directly from hotels that wanted to help.
Proactively.
Yes, and the phrasing of these emails, things like, "We wouldn't be real hardists if we don't help them somehow," apparently deeply moved her. She said it made her cry and feel incredibly proud of "my people." This unexpected, proactive, and compassionate response really solidified her belief in the hardest spirit.
So the program actually worked, just not in the way they might have measured initially.
Precisely. Her powerful conclusion was, the training worked, CEOs and leaders, there is your ROI. All those exclamation points are hers, by the way.
Ah, noted.
It showed that when values are genuinely embraced, they can lead to tangible, collective action and a profound sense of pride and connection. Real ROI, just maybe not the spreadsheet kind.
That's incredibly powerful. And speaking of connection, she also shared her deep love, her word for her CEO, Sebastian.
Okay, loyalty to leadership.
Yes, and this love actually led her to do things she completely disagreed with. She recounted saying things like, I don't know what Sebastian is smoking, this makes no bloody sense, but let's do it. I hope he knows where we're going. And then she just went and did it.
Wow. That illustrates a very deep form of loyalty, or maybe trust.
Maybe both.
Yeah. And during COVID, she observed colleagues being let go, which obviously made her sad. But then her CEO went to the shareholders and negotiated for a fund that meant fewer dividends for them, but allocated more funds to employees.
Ah, putting people over immediate profit.
Exactly. And this gesture significantly deepened her loyalty to him. Even when she didn't agree with every decision, she found herself defending him, saying things like, Guys, Espy is trying, give him a break, we just need to get through this somehow, and nobody knows how.
So protecting the leader.
Right. This protection of a leader, especially when the organization is facing immense difficulties, is presented as another clear sign of engagement. It demonstrates trust and a shared sense of navigating challenges together.
And to cap off her personal journey, maybe the most profound sign of her engagement came not in the office, but while listening to a podcast, actually.
Yeah. How so?
She was listening to an interview with her CEO where he spoke about the moment he had to send that email, the one ordering over 5,000 hotels to shut down with immediate effect during the pandemic.
Oh, man. That must have been an incredibly tough moment. She describes her reaction vividly. She started crying. She felt it, not just for him, but for her colleagues worldwide. Even knowing she was leaving the company soon, she cried.
Wow.
It was a mix of sadness and pride, she said. Her concluding thought on this experience was so powerful. These are my people, and I will always love them.
That visceral emotional reaction, even at a distance and after she had decided to move on, it just perfectly encapsulates the unquantifiable depth of true engagement, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. You can't put that on a spreadsheet.
No kidding. So considering these deeply personal experiences, how effectively do our traditional engagement surveys truly capture this kind of nuanced reality?
Well, this brings us right back to the core argument of Ola's article, doesn't it? We have no idea what engagement is, we cannot measure it, and we are wasting money on it.
Pretty blunt.
Very. She argues that data collected in human behavior contexts, like engagement, is inherently unrepresentative, incomplete, and biased. The really important things related to human experience, those moments we just discussed, they simply cannot be quantified.
So the tools are just inadequate for the task.
Largely, yes. She emphasizes that no superficial perks like a canteen lunch or a benefits package or some team-building activity could ever create the depth of feelings she described. Engagement is incredibly complex, she says, and it looks different for everyone. She even notes that even when she had truly bad managers.
Which happens everywhere.
Right. She differentiated them from the company itself. She understood that they were individual problems, not necessarily a reflection of the entire organization. That's quite a sophisticated distinction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. And this is a critical point that the article really hammers home. Even science disagrees with employee engagement, but we in corporations take what Peter wrote and run with it. It's a stark warning, really, that we're often building these elaborate strategies on pretty shaky foundations, relying on metrics that just don't tell the full story.
Precisely. And the crucial takeaway here, according to Ola, is that survey data should be used as information that is good to know to find out things that we don't know yet and not to build strategies on them.
Okay, so use them as a starting point, not the final word.
Exactly. Use them for inquiry, to ask better questions, rather than as definitive answers or, prescriptive guides for top-down initiatives that might miss the mark completely.
So where does this leave us? What does this all mean? I think this deep dive into Sylvia Ola's article really reveals that true engagement is a deeply personal, often emotional, and incredibly varied experience that, traditional surveys simply can't capture adequately. It seems it's built on authentic relationships, compelling stories, loyalty that sometimes defies logic, and a profound sense of shared purpose that goes far beyond any standardized metric.
Yeah, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, it suggests we probably need a fundamental rethinking of how organizations approach engagement. We have to move beyond just the easily quantifiable
They're
indicators,
checkboxes.
right, the checkboxes, and instead focus on fostering genuine connections, a real sense of belonging, and true commitment. Which, of course, raises an important question. If we're not measuring what truly matters, what are we missing in terms of our people's potential, their well-being, their hidden contributions?
That's a really powerful question to consider.
Yeah.
And maybe for you, our listener, here's a final provocative thought to mull over. Based on what we've discussed today, reflecting on Sylvia Ola's experiences, what unquantifiable moments or actions in your own work life have shown you that you were truly and deeply engaged, bloody engaged, as she might say, even if no survey would ever pick it up? How might recognizing these personal truths, these real moments, change how you think about your own contributions and connections at work?